Hey, sweet friends, welcome to another episode of the Business of Inner Peace. Listen, I want you to just hear me clearly. You cannot access truth when your nervous system is in survival mode, which means in the moments you need God most, your brain may literally be blocking you from experiencing Him. So, in this episode, we're talking about neurotheology, the pain processing pathway, and how to actually encounter Jesus in a way that your whole body can receive. Welcome to the Business of Inner Peace. I'm your host, Erin Jean, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's pretend we're sitting in my living room enjoying a cup of coffee or tea and getting to know each other just a little better. That's what I love. I love getting to hear your story. I love feeling connected by the spirit of understanding that our stories bring. Today, I'm sharing some of my story, but I hope someday soon you'll be telling me yours. Listen, I know that you're feeling overwhelmed with life, and nothing is exactly how you'd like it to be. Your marriage is not what you hoped for. Motherhood is harder than you imagined, and you've lost yourself somewhere in the mix of responsibilities. Well, if you're ready to bring some more peace and joy into your life, reconnect with God who made you, and start living a life you love, then grab your cup of coffee or tea, and let's dive into today's show. So, welcome, friends, to this episode. There is something happening in me right now, and I don't want to rush past it. I almost didn't record this episode because part of me felt like maybe I need to wait until I have it all figured out. But the truth is, it feels too important to wait because something is shifting in my relationship with Jesus in a way that feels more real than anything I've experienced before. So I've been going through a facilitator training for something that's called Immanuel Prayer. And if you want to look it up, go ahead and Google Immanuel Prayer. Lots of resources will come up. And every week I get to observe sessions, and I also get to sit with people one-on-one in a private session. And in that session, we slow down and we just create space for them to encounter Jesus. And I don't fully have language for this yet, but I'm finding myself becoming a little bit of a Jesus junkie. um, and I mean that like just in the most grounded, peaceful way, not hype, not striving, but just this deep sense of like, I want to stay right here and I just want more of this because I'm watching how Jesus meets people, the way he speaks, the way he comforts, the way he tells the truth without shame, without pressure, like really encouraging and just love. And somewhere in the middle of facilitating and observing these sessions, he's been ministering to my heart too. And here's what I keep thinking about. So many women that I talk to, they love God and they know scripture and they pray and they're trying so hard to do the right things. And yet they just feel disconnected. They feel stuck. They feel overwhelmed. They react in their marriage in ways that they don't like. And then they feel guilty afterward. And underneath all of that is this, just this quiet question. Like, why does this still feel so hard? Or why don't I feel God the way that I want to? And this is where something called neurotheology has been making so much sense to me. And don't let that big word feel intimidating because all it really means is this: understanding how your brain and your nervous system experience God, like how God created all of this to work together. Because when your nervous system is in survival mode, when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel anxious or shut down or reactive, your brain literally loses access to things like peace, clarity, connection, and truth. And that doesn't just affect your relationships with people, it actually affects your ability to experience connection with God. So I want to let's take it one step deeper because this has been blowing my mind. There is actually something called the pain processing pathway. I should call it like the triple P. Um, it's how your brain is designed to move through painful experiences. And when we're able to move through that pathway in a healthy way, pain does not become trauma. It actually becomes wisdom. It becomes maturity. It grows our capacity. It becomes something that strengthens us instead of something that makes us stay stuck inside. So what's fascinating about this is that this pathway, it follows 5 levels. And I'm going to try to keep it really simple. So level 1 is attachment. And that's kind of like, am I safe, right? Am I connected? Level 2 is staying connected to your emotions, to the experience, like really being able to feel what you feel. Level 3 is attunement. So you're not alone in it, right? You're having a way where you're being relationally connected, where someone can like really share, I'm glad to be with you, even when it's hard, right? Like being in pain is hard enough, but when someone can be with you in your pain, it's even more powerful. And that's attunement. Level 4 is action and identity. So, how do I handle this? Like, who am I in this? And then level 5 is making meaning. And so our brain will always do this with everything. The questions become what's true or what do I believe now? So, when we do this in a healthy way, it's powerful. But when we do this in an unhealthy way, which most of us do, um, it's a problem. We get stuck and we disconnect. So let me just give you an example of like the unhealthy way, because I'm really good at this. The unhealthy way of moving through the pain pathway. So for level 1, for attachment, instead of attaching to somebody and feeling safe and connected and attached, I retreat. I go into solidarity, right? Don't talk to anyone, like shut down. For level 2, when you're supposed to be staying connected to the experience, right? Being able to feel what you feel, I will numb out. I'll do whatever I can to flee from the things that I'm feeling. So that might look like scrolling on social media, playing a game on my phone, watching TV, like desperately looking for a rom-com movie to watch because I just want to laugh. Like I just don't want to feel how I'm feeling. Um, and again, these are like giving you an example of the unhealthy way of moving through this pain processing pathway. So, level 3 is attunement, which is all about not being alone in it and being relationally connected. Well, if you're retreating and you're not acknowledging your pain and how you're feeling, right, you're certainly not going to have attunement. You're not going to invite anyone to like be in it with you. You might invite somebody in an unhealthy way, like complaining about it, right? That's not what we're talking about. That's not the healthy way to attune. And then level 4 is this action and identity. So when you're going to the how do I handle this or who am I in this, at this point, like your nervous system is fried. You're totally operating from fight, flight, or freeze, and you're not going to make a good action decision. And you can start having like this pity party on the identity piece. Like, who am I? Like, oh gosh, I'm a loser. This always happens to me. Life is bad. Like, just saying things like that, right, is the unhealthy way to go through this pathway. And then the level 5 is making meaning. And here's the other problem: we're always going to make meaning of something. That's really what we do. Our brain constantly makes meaning of things. And the problem is the meaning we've made, is it true? And really the truth that we want, the meaning that we want, is God's truth. Like, what does God say about this? But when we make our own meaning, we make meaning about ourselves, we make meaning about other people. This is where we start really like connecting to limiting beliefs that don't serve us. So that's kind of what it looks like when you go through this in an unhealthy way. And if you can relate to any of that, keep listening. This is for you. So, the problem is when we don't move through those 5 levels in a healthy way, we get stuck. We disconnect, we shut down, we try to skip straight to the meaning part, and without ever actually feeling safe enough to process what's happened. And this is where understanding your brain is so important, because pain is primarily processed in the right side of the brain. And that's where our emotions live. That's where we've got our body sensations, our relational experiences. But healing from the pain, healing that experience, healing that trauma, it needs to move from the right side to the left side of the brain. And that's where we can make sense of it in a healthy way, where we can create a true story, where we can hold truth. And that only happens when the pathway is completed in a healthy pattern, the way God designed it to be. So here's the catch: your frontal cortex, this front part of your brain, the part of your brain that can think clearly, choose wisely, access truth, make good decisions, it cannot function at the same time as your survival brain, the back part of your brain, the part of your brain that you're in when you're doing fight, flight, or freeze, right? When you're triggered, when you're overwhelmed. You literally cannot access truth in that moment, because your brain cannot run both sides at the same time. It's only in the front or it's in the back. And that is why you're just telling yourself, or why telling yourself, I need to think differently, isn't going to work. Like, you can't just think your way out of survival mode. So here's what I'm proposing to you. What if the reason that you feel far from God isn't because he's distant, but because your body learned that it wasn't safe to stay present? Just want to let that sink that in for, and get doc. Let that sink in for a moment. So what if God feels distant, not because he actually is, but because your body learned that staying safe, right, is getting the heck out of there, not being present? Healing does not come from bypassing pain, from running away from it, right? We can never heal something we're not willing to look at. I love this saying, like, you cannot clean a dish if you're not willing to see the gunky, dirty food on it, right? If you look at the dish and think, oh, it's just fine, because you're ignoring all of the crusty, dirty food, you can never really clean the dish, right? You have to get in there. You have to address what it is. So when we want to heal, we can't bypass the pain. We do have to move through it. But what's cool is we can do that without it being even more painful. So if we move through the pain in this connected, relational way, like with Jesus, and move through it exactly how God designed us, we're not going to heal in isolation. We're going to heal in connection. And I promise it is like nowhere near as painful as you think it will be. And this is why it's so powerful, because this is super cool, guys. When we connect with a positive memory, right? A moment where we feel safe, where we feel peaceful, where we feel connected. We start there. This is what we do in Immanuel Prayer. We start in a positive place. It activates the joy center of our brain. And that joy, it actually opens us up. It opens us back up to connection. It turns our relational circuits on, and it helps us to move back toward truth and toward relationship. And this is why I'm saying it's actually not as painful as your brain is thinking it's going to be, right? To do this healing. And the cool thing is, you can be lit up. You can have this joy center light up from somebody else's joy, from somebody else's good memory. When other people begin to share their positive memories with you, it's crazy. It does this thing inside you where it lifts your own spirits, and it's tapping into your own brain and getting that relational switch flipped. And it can be something simple. It can be like a good meal or walking outside, like finding these happy memories. It's not as hard as you think, and you can really lean into others to help you like get there, which is really cool. So, this is why in Immanuel Prayer, we don't start with pain. In fact, with most people, I've noticed their first session, we never talk about pain at all. We start with connection. We start with what we call a safety net, and it's this positive memory where you feel safe, where you feel connected. It's really cool if you already feel aware of Jesus in that memory, but even if you don't, we're going to invite Jesus in. And it's from that place that your brain, it's no longer in survival mode, which is really cool. So we're going back to the frontal cortex, and you're open and you're relational and you can receive. And from there, we can move toward the pain, but not alone, right? We can move with Jesus, staying connected, staying relational, letting him speak, letting him bring truth. And something else that's been so meaningful to me in this process is this: Jesus is not distant. He's not waiting for you to get it right. He's always present. He's always wanting to connect. And if you're not experiencing that, it's not because he's not there. There's just something in the way. And those blockages, they can be gently uncovered and healed. And I didn't expect this part, but as I've been sitting with people and as I've also been observing others in these sessions, I've been experiencing him more too, more Jesus for me. Um, just more of his presence. I feel like he's so kind, he's so near, and it's not because I'm trying harder. It's not because of anything I'm doing. It's because I'm learning how to actually be with him. And as he is with others, I'm listening to the messages. I'm listening to what he has to say. And really often the message that comes forth in these sessions, it can apply to all of us. And it's been so meaningful. So if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling disconnected, if you've been wondering why nothing seems to change, I just want to gently offer you this. You're not broken. You're not doing it wrong. There's just a different way to experience him, a different way to experience Jesus. And as I continue going through this training, I have been offering Immanuel Prayer sessions because, quite frankly, I need practice. I need to practice with someone every single week. And truly, it would be such an honor to sit with you, to create space for you, to experience Jesus in a way that feels safe and real. So if that's something that your heart is longing for, if you've been resonating with anything that I've said and you're like, yeah, I want that, I want to try that, please just send me a message. I'd love to connect with you. You can find me on Facebook if you search Erin Jean Coaching. You can also find me on Instagram. My username is actually the name of this podcast, The Business of Inner Peace, all together, no spaces. So listen, Jesus isn't asking you to try harder. He's inviting you to experience him right here, right now. And I would just say, don't say no. Don't pass up on that invitation. Thanks for listening, friends. I hope you have a blessed day.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're feeling blessed by the content here, the number one way you can show me is by leaving me a written review of the show. I'd be forever grateful. Knowing that you're out there listening helps me know that I'm truly living out God's purpose in my life. The other thing you can do is take a screenshot of this episode, share it with a friend, or better yet, tag me on your Instagram stories. Remember, you are seen, known, and loved. May God richly bless you today. All my love, Erin Jean.